Hello everybody. I am presenting a work of my intern Ila Ananta who worked with me on a very interesting and important topic, optimized meditative EEG channel estimation for efficient impact study of mindfulness for sustainable health. We know that sustainable health is the only way to lead quality life. During pandemic COVID-19 we have seen that even if we depend on a lot of medicines, we don't enjoy quality health. Mindfulness practices such as meditation and yoga answer many of those challenges and issues related to different types of disease disorder that may be mental disease, brain related disease and disorder. So there are very limited research on scientific research on mindfulness, especially the impact study of mindfulness. But there are some, and we have also started working on the in this area using EEG devices. So what happens when we capture? You look at one picture here. When we capture a complete part of the brain, frontal area, parietal, temporal, occipital area, we'll have a lot of channels. So how to optimize the most appropriate channel so that dimensionality problem is reduced? Because when we want to study say stress is attributed to, or stress is contributed by most part of frontal area, and in frontal area there will be a lot of channels, lot of electrodes. So how to optimize that this is that work all about. We'll be talking about hypothesis, motivation, introduction and background, problem definition, proposed work, implementation, conclusion and references. This work is one part of Indian knowledge system IKS related work. IKS deals with a number of components: health and wellness, traditional knowledge in mathematics, medicine, yoga and Vedas, preserving arts, culture and tradition, ancient structure and design, astronomy, consciousness studies. This is mainly on mental health and mental well-being. So hypothesis meditation is considered as a mindfulness practice which involves focused attention, with which or through which we can reduce stress, we can reduce anxiety, we can reduce mind wandering, we can improve quality of sleep and improve our quality of life. So investigation of the impact of meditation using EEG device with the help of EEG signal, this requires technique to analyze interactions among a lot of EEG channels in different parts of the brain during the cognitive activities, to examine connections and fluctuations between EEG channels during meditation tasks. A statistical technique called as factor analysis is proposed that effectively reduces the extensive dimensionality of EEG channels. We identified three distinct factors that collectively account for 92.9% of variations in EEG channel. The introduction of this work, like one picture you can see, someone is meditating for 40 minutes. So during meditation EEG is recorded. After that, for resting state we can record for 5 minutes. Before that we can record for 5 minutes. So in every step we record EEG signals, and that covers a lot of channels. So the work is about comprehensive investigation into how meditation impacts the EEG signals, and to do this statistical approach called as factor analysis has been used in this work. Factor analysis is a dimension reduction technique to simplify data according to user-defined criteria efficiently that represents initial variables as linear bends of underlying factors. There are some examples like in brain mapping and interpretation of reading processing in children using EEG and multivariate statistical analysis. This factor analysis was used for neural organization in typical readers and children with learning challenges and those who were having reading difficulties. So there have been some applications, but not specifically on addressing the dimensionality issue in the meditation based research. There is another work that talks about statistical analysis of EEG data during meditation using PCA. We know that PCA is also used as the dimensionality addressing method, and that classified meditators and non-meditators, and PCA was used to address the dimensionality. There was another work where the factor structure was used, and this is the work related to age-associated variations in different human subjects. In PC-based EEG mapping system, a software for EEG data analysis was introduced for epilepsy and Parkinson's disease evaluations. In another work, multivariate analysis of high-dimensional EEG data, this was made emphasizing multivariate test and other efficacy. So what we want to say that there are some approaches which have been used, especially in the EEG, but not all for EEG analysis, for meditation impact analysis. The factor analysis is described in this manner. Xi represents observed variable I, Fj, that is F1, F2, F3, represents latent factor, and lambda ij is the factor loading representing the relationship between Xi and Fj. So what happens, based on relationship, based on interactions between the different channels, wherever we find the interaction is more, the bonding is more, that is only retained and others are eliminated. So this is the method where massive dimensionality issue is addressed. To navigate this analysis, the factor analysis is used for creating efficient groupings among EEG channels. These groupings play a very important role in highlighting intricate interactions between various brain regions. So the proposed work, as we have mentioned, the data set which was used in this research is Meditation Research Institute in Rishikesh, and that consists of continuous brainwave signals having different band of frequencies, having certain number of subjects. The study focuses on EEG recordings and to distinct the mental states induced by meditation techniques like mindfulness, loving kindness, and focused attention. Factor analysis explores complex interactions, as I mentioned in previous slide. Complex interactions present in power values we can do in terms of PSD, power spectral density, from different electrodes during meditation. This method helps in latent factors, revealing the latent factors that capture common patterns within the EEG data, potentially corresponding to a specific neural network or brain regions related to meditative process. So the method and implementation, EEG data was captured, PSD was evaluated. Then we computed the PSD graph, and then we evaluated n by n matrix. Then we used some Bartlett's test, and the method has to pass this test. Otherwise, the factor analysis will have difficulty in implementation. If it passes, we perform the factor analysis, then we do the grouping of factors, and finally we get the optimal group of channels. And those who do not pass, we just discard that data. So summarization matrix is obtained by computing the average band power for capturing meditation related frequency specific brain activities. From here we estimate PSD, and then Wells periodogram method is employed to compute PSD like this here. We use this to determine PSD, and then Wells periodogram gives the PSD variation. The average band power is determined by computing the area. If PSD plot is there, you can compute the average band power by integration by sum of this area. The area under PSD is an integral operation providing an overall measure of power within defined frequency ranges. To perform this integral, the composite Simpson's rule can be employed due to absence of closed form formula for direct integration, because you don't have closed form of characteristic here. The method produces, we have seen in the flow diagram, n cross n data matrix, where n is the number of input signals or trials, small n is the number of variables. Here the number of variables is electrodes. To evaluate the appropriateness of data using a factor analysis, as we have mentioned in the flow diagram, we perform two tests, Bartlett and KMO test, and these tests need to be passed. Factor loadings were calculated to express the correlation. Correlation is important, that how channels are interacting in certain area, certain region of the brain, between each electrode and variable and underlying factors. Variables were subsequently categorized based on their maximum absolute loading values, signifying their connection with the specific factors. We have seen a mathematical equation. With the help of that, we evaluate this. Each variable was assigned to a group corresponding to the factor within the highest absolute loading value, simplifying the interpretation and organization of the data. So this is some part of the result that we have included here. the channels which were included in the analysis, say one of the sample where the number of channels were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 15 channels were there, and we want to reduce it. So this is a plot of eigenvalues of those factors after confirming the suitability of the test to determine the ideal number of factors to extract eigenvalue versus number of factors is plotted. The graph reveals the three factors and how those three factors are used. Factor 1, where you see we could group these channels into one group. Look at here. Factor 2 could produce these channels, and factor 3 could produce these channels. If you talk about factor 1, observed grouping hints at a potential functional connectivity. So functional connectivity, that is strong interaction, was found amongst these channels, pre-processing of somatic stimuli and sensory integration during meditation. The current engagement of these different cognitive processes indicates a complex interplay, enabling meditators to achieve heightened awareness when they are interacting strongly. So we can use these channels only so that we can study, the heightened awareness during the meditation and integration of both internal and external sensory experiences while during the meditation process. Factor 2 has these electrodes. You look at here the diagram. This group indicates common functionalities again in planning and emotional processing related activities whose integration during meditation leads to more holistic cognitive emotional experience. Functional coherence was found within the group, and this explains improved cognitive ability, cognitive flexibility. Like the first factor was about mental alertness or awareness. Second is about cognitive, emotional experience. And third, which is the smallest group, that is about experiencing the heightened, enhanced state of sensory integration and spatial awareness. And that has only three. You can see that from 15 channels, we could bring to only three channels that can be used to study the enhanced state of sensory integration and spatial awareness. This enables individual subjects to process and integrate sensory stimuli from their surroundings more efficiently, which can facilitate a deeper understanding of connection with their environment during meditation. So you can understand, as you can get a number of factors, using those number of factors, we can optimize the channel selection and make the analysis more efficient. So the conclusion is strategic electrode selection and the factor analysis offers valuable insights into neural dynamics and interactions during meditation. Average band power, that is PSD and band power, were used for the EEG analysis, especially to impact analysis of meditation. Expanding the study with a larger and more diverse sample size, more electrodes are required. That increases the dimensionality. In order to deal with that, we have used factor analysis. Exploring the meditation effects on individuals with specific mental health conditions can help in therapeutic intervention, advance contemplative neuroscience and personalized medicine. So this is a concluding remark, and these are the references used in this paper. So this work is very interesting work. Thank you so much, the organizer, for giving us the opportunity to present our work. This is about using EEG data analysis for meditation research to find the impact of meditation in enhanced alertness, awareness, in cognitive functionalities and interactions. Using factor analysis, we could optimize the number of channels with the help of how strong the interactions are there, and based on those interactions, we could reduce the number of channels for different purposes or different types of impact analysis of meditation. Hope those who are doing research on meditation or mindfulness practices using EEG analysis, using EEG as a data, will definitely get some insight, get some benefit from this presentation or the paper. Thank you so much. Thank you, Ila, for the wonderful work that you have done under me. Thank you so much. Good.